This is the Huntington Tri-State Time Machine, brought to you by Realty Exchange, the top-performing real estate company in the Huntington, West Virginia Tri-State Area. Each week, your host, W.G. Bunch, and his guests share memories and stories about the past, the present, and the future of the Huntington Tri-State Area. That's Huntington, West Virginia, Ashland, Kentucky, and the Chesapeake and Proctorville, Ohio areas. If you used to live here or you currently live here, you're going to catch yourself saying out loud, "Wow, I remember that." Now, here's WG.
Well, hello. Here we are. There you are, and welcome inside the Huntington Tri-State Time Machine. I'm W.G. Bunch, your host, and I'd like to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Realty Exchange. Realty Exchange, the top performing real estate company in the Huntington Tri-State Area. Go to realty-ex.com for the website. They can take care of all of your real estate needs. I have the privilege of saying I've got another one of my favorite guests here, Alex Kendall. Alex and I, we've known each other for quite a while. We've done a couple of these together. Alex, just make sure that they know that you're a real person.
I'm here, WG. Thanks for giving me a chance.
And, Alex and I are going to talk about a very, very famous landmark in the Huntington area. If you ever went to a Marshall University football game in the 70s, 80s, a high school game, a soccer game, maybe you went to a camp. I mean, this place was used for so many different things. We are talking about, of course, Alex, where are we?
Fairfield Stadium.
Exactly, Fairfield Stadium. The very, very quick, because we are not a Wikipedia page, very quickly, Fairfield Stadium opened in 28. Alex, do you remember what year would they have said this is the last year for Marshall football here?
I'm going to go with 93.
Close, 90.
90?
Yes, believe it or not.
Right when I started at Marshall and quit going to games.
Yeah. and attendance and those things. Yeah, that I want to get into that because here's one number that really surprised me. What do you think the seating capacity for Fairfield Stadium was? Now they did this thing where they kind of redid it in 1970, but from 1970 to 90,
dug down and
yeah. What do you think? What do you think when it ended, the capacity for that place was?
Gosh, I just don't even have any frame of reference.
Well, because I think the new stadium, the Joan Edwards, is like 33,000, something like that.
So I'll go with 10.
18. Which it seemed to me like 10.
Yeah.
18 surprised me.
Right.
And I don't have any kind of records of like how often, if ever, it sold out and that type of thing. I've got plenty of memories that we'll go over, but yeah, it went away. They tore it down in the early 90s. It's now a Marshall science building or science forensics building,
and the School of Medicine, I believe, is there.
Yeah, yep, and it's a great looking building, Fairfield.
But you can still tell that it's Fairfield Stadium. You can still see the dip down and everything like that, where the walls were and everything. You can see like where the entrance ramp was.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought of
if
that.
You walk around it and you're like, yeah, I mean, I remember. You can tell. That's what this is. Like you can stand over, I think there's like a parking lot or whatever, you look down and it's like, oh yeah, that was just like looking down on the field, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Next time I'm over there, y'all, I'll check it out. But that was, now I know your attachment to Fairfield Stadium is different than mine, but Didn't you like live next door?
Like 2 blocks away. Actually, even more of an attachment was the Little League field that was between my house and Fairfield.
League Six.
Because those flipping lights were blaring through my bedroom window while I was trying to get to sleep. But yeah, no. Fairfield was awesome. And, and we, like, I grew up, going to Marshall games on Saturdays because there was nothing, else to do. I could walk down there and nobody else was there really, like in the 70s. I mean, it was just like, there were more people at the high school games, really, I think.
Now, did you live close enough to be one of those houses that you can park in our yard for $3 or something?
Well, no, the little south side, yards were not, you can park in them. They always had that little hill up or whatever, like it was built up on a little knoll.
Gotcha. Yep.
But anyway, parking, actually, that's a good story. So first of all, for the folks, at home who may not have grown up around the Fairfield days, if you've seen We Are Marshall and you see them going, it's game day, and they're walking, that's exactly what it was like in the late 80s when people started going to the games again and everything. And I mean, it was packed and just people, walking, and everybody would park on our street. And it was just one of those it was 13th Street. It's like one of those, you had cars parked on one side, cars parked on the other side. There was just enough room for one car to go down the middle, right? And so I was moving out of my house, I think, when I turned 18, and I go down to the end of the street and somebody's trying to get in. Well, I back up and let them by, try again, somebody else, back up and let them by. Finally, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Now it's going to be their turn to let me through.
Right.
And this guy just won't move. And I'm like, dude, it's like kickoff's in like 2 minutes. You thought you were going to park 2 blocks from Fairfield? No, it's not going to happen. Like, it's already time. So
that might have been me.
Yeah.
I might have been that dude.
So he throws his car into park like he's going to show me. And I was like, okay, so I throw my car into park and turn the car off because I'm not going to the game.
That was me.
Was it really?
No.
That would be awesome.
No,
I would have known you. But it was hilarious. He thought he was proving some kind of point. I'm like, dude, I literally live here. I will walk into my house and go have dinner. Like, and so finally, like, he backed off. But anyway, but yeah, that was a weekly thing. If you left your house on game day, you could bet, there's no point in coming back until after the game's done and people like,
yeah, because those streets are narrow anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the access was very good, but yeah, wow, yeah, Fairfield was. I have a lot of memories there. I think the one I'll start with is my mom worked for Marshall and got hired as the football department secretary for Sonny Randall.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was the lowest of I think they were like 4-40 over 3 years or something. But she was the football secretary, and so I would go to all the games at Fairfield, and got to know some of the players. And when you're 10,
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I got Sonny Randall's autograph.
Olmo, his first name Olmo. Oh yes, and I would go to Fairfield, and there would be a couple thousand people, maybe.
Right.
And I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not gonna make anybody feel bad, but it seems like there are 50,000 people today who say, "Oh, I remember going to see him in the Fairfield Stadium days."
Yeah.
No, you weren't there when I was there.
Right.
I hate to tell you. Maybe you
like
went
10
to
of us.
Yeah, if you went to one game over 10 years, that doesn't mean, oh, I remember going to all the games. No, you did not. But yeah, and it was almost like general admission. I mean, I know they had.
Well, but you could just sit anywhere
wherever you want.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like being on an air. It's like being on a flight where they're like, we have a lot of open seats. You guys feel free to sit wherever you want. You're like, okay, great, thanks, appreciate it. But yeah, Mom was the football secretary, and I remember going to all the games. I remember like the first time Carl Lee or Carl Foder or Terry Eccles or something, they actually like knew my name. I mean, it's not like they saw me across, but just the fact, hey, WG, I'm like,
Nice.
oh, you know who I am? And then, Carl Lee
Joe.
goes on to play for the Minnesota Vikings and stuff. And when that kind of thing happens, obviously, I boost it up to, I know him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're
best friends.
Yep, exactly. But, and then when the holidays came, and I had a conversation with somebody just about a week ago about this, so I hope I'm not going to get anybody in trouble. But when Thanksgiving came, the players who could not go home for Thanksgiving, my mom would invite them to the house. And so I remember we always had 2 turkeys, maybe one time we had a turkey and a ham or whatever. And 6, 7, 8 of them would come over, but which was awesome. So because they all just sat and watched football and whatnot. But my mom would have a list they didn't know about as far as things they could do around the house, because they would all say, Ms. Bunch, is there anything we can do for you? Actually, and she'd pull out this piece of paper and she's like, if you could go upstairs in the hallway, that light fixture is loose. And before you know it, we've got like 8 repairmen.
Right.
Because like 2 of them would go do this, and then, is there anything we can do for you? And she'd like, yeah, if you don't mind, go outside to the backyard, and you'll see the fence is really bent. Oh, we'll take care of that. So yeah, it was
nice.
It was a good trade-off. And then after we ate, we had it was a medium-sized backyard, but they would go outside in the back and play soccer. No football,
Right.
because I guess they were footballed out.
Yeah.
But I
That's work.
I played a little bit of soccer, but so I'm out there kicking the soccer ball with the football players, and friends are calling on the landline. My mom's yelling at me to come in. I get the phone, and friends are going, all right, we ate, so what are you going to do now? I'm like, oh, I got the Marshall players over here. We're in the backyard kicking the soccer ball, that kind of thing. Can I come over? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You should really spend time with your family today,
right.
I think. Let's be thankful for what we have. And I have things that you do not have, my friend. And we'll talk tomorrow. But yeah, and then going to Fairfield Stadium and just and that's the first exposure to college football.
Right.
Huntington High was not much better in those 80s.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that was normal, as football games, maybe a couple thousand people went.
Right.
And then when you go to your first one where there's 70,000 people, you're like, whoa, what the heck?
Well, here's a funny one. Not exactly Fairfield related, but when we would go to Florida for Thanksgiving, and we were down there one year to see family, and they were like, hey, we're all going up to Georgia to the Marshall game. I said, I thought the season was over. They said
2001.
And maybe.
Because my dad got his bachelor's at Marshall, master's at Florida.
Oh, okay.
He's got things up in his...
No. This was in Georgia, though. The game was in Georgia.
I know. I was just keeping you on your toes.
Yeah.
No, I blanked out. Sorry,
Okay.
I forgot.
It's all right.
I heard Florida, and I'm...
Right. No, but it was like it was the Southern Conference Championship. I was like, like, we're in the championship? And they said, yeah. I said, when did we get good? Like, I had no idea. But like I said, I was going to Marshall at the time, but I had no idea.
Oh, so you're talking late. Yeah, you're talking late 80s, early 90s.
It would have been in the 90s.
Georgia Southern probably is who they played.
Well, we were playing Youngstown.
Oh, okay.
But they would always have the Southern Conference Championship in whatever Georgia.
Yeah.
Before, and that might have been the last year, because the next year we played Youngstown here at the new stadium.
See, the last 3 minutes, I don't think I've ever sounded like a bigger idiot, not knowing people are like, I don't think this guy even knows how sports works. But okay,
we're not sports guys. That's
I'm on
okay.
board with you.
It's all right.
Yeah,
but no, it was crazy. But it was like all of a sudden we had gotten good, and people were going to games, and it was awesome.
Well, when I went to Houston in '87, I had an actual Marshall player's jersey because they kept changing the uniforms. We're Kelly green and yellow. No, now we're forest green and white. And so, well, when my mom was in the football department, they changed the uniforms, and I got one. At 47. I don't know. It was not and no offense if number 47's listening. I'm not saying it wasn't an important number, but once in a blue moon, for some reason, I would wear it in Houston. And I had a couple people. I remember one person coming up to me in a sports bar going, "Did you go to Marshall?" And I went, "No, but I'm from there." They're like, "Because I went to Marshall." I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Well, there's a Marshall High School in Houston.
And
The overall area. So they thought I was from, and I said, no. Now, you can say what you want about athletics and how much money should be devoted to them or whatever. I have to admit, after the Chad Randy explosion, then people were like, Marshall University, right?
Right.
Yeah. Not Marshall High School.
Right.
So that was a big change. And I remember my dad telling me about, we've got this guy who could play anywhere, but he's playing here, Randy Moss. And I was like, I'm sure he's good. Now, my conceited self was like, okay, I'm sure it's very cute. Yeah, you realize
Marshall.
Yeah, you realize. Yeah, Andre Ware just won the Heisman Trophy a couple of years ago, but that's fine. And I came home for holiday, and we went to a game, and it was the game that Randy Moss, Navy, I think is who they played. He jumped over like 3 dudes, and I just remember going, oh my God, this guy really is pretty awesome. And this big, beautiful stadium. And, Fairfield, I have good memories of, but it's not like I really go, it's nothing like going to games at Fairfield. Oh, and then also while my mom was a football secretary, this kind of says a little something about Marshall. Somehow she became the merchandise coordinator for the school. She was basketball, football, non-revenue sports. She was in charge of everything from ordering the pom-poms to the, stuffed animals to which nobody bought. I mean, the basketball team was in there like Coach Cephalato days. It was before the Hucks Herd thing. And she would get all these deliveries at her office from these companies that said, "Here's a sample of what a Marshall stuffed turtle would look like." It was like, what the? And she said, "What do we have to do with turtles or anything?" But she would bring all of it home. It was all one of a kind stuff.
Yeah.
All of my friends and family, for birthdays and Christmas and stuff, got Marshall stuff.
Right.
And it got to a point where, like, my friends would go, "Let me guess what this is before I open it." I'm like, "Look, man, you don't."
Well, now that's probably worth something. One of a kind.
Absolutely, yes.
Beanie Babies.
Yes. I mean, and we had a ton of Marshall stuff. And then she was with the football department through Stan Parrish's first year, who just passed away recently. That was their first winning year. And I mean, that was just a huge, huge deal. Yeah. And then she actually got a promotion and went to another department. And of course I was like, "Why don't you stay in the football department? They're good now." I don't mind hanging out with those dudes, but, and Fairfield Stadium, I don't think had anything other than just, there's no way they had a concert.
Well,
or did they?
I believe I heard. I actually did try to look this up because I knew we'd be talking about it, and I couldn't find any evidence of it. But I didn't dig that hard. But I believe I heard that Tom Jones with Billy Joe Royal opening up.
No way.
Played at Fairfield.
That's impossible. Are you sure Fairfield? Well, hold on. I got my last. Because if that's true, well, it wouldn't be unusual. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, all right, Delilah. Thanks for laughing. Go ahead.
As you look that up, I'm going to throw this little story for you. There was the scuffle that I had with the security at Fairfield when I was in about 4th grade, something like that.
I don't know if you can have a scuffle if you're in 4th grade, but okay. Unless you're with another 4th grader. But go ahead.
Like you said, you could go like wander around and sit wherever you wanted. So we were there with the church, like the whole church group that went, and me and my buddies, went off to our own little area, and I took my popcorn box and folded it up into like a paper airplane when I got done with it, and flew it out onto the field.
Oh.
Apparently that's not okay. And I mean, it was just a paper airplane. I'm like, what are you doing? And next thing you know, here comes the security guy. He's like, yo, boss, come over here a second.
And so they knew it was you?
And like, yeah.
Or were they asking around going, who threw that?
I don't know. But I was completely unaware until I got picked. He probably saw me. Anyway, and it wasn't like I was trying to do it secretly. I had no idea what I was doing was wrong. Anyway, but then I was known at church as ex-con, like by the college kids or whatever. Hey, ex-con.
He's a bad seed.
They let you out for the weekend.
Oh, that Alex, he's dangerous. I'm sure you probably might have got some dates from that or something. He's a bad boy. He likes to throw those airplanes on the field. I don't see anything about no Tom Jones and no Fairfield Stadium.
Well, so yeah, I mean, like I said, like I think I'll have to like maybe start digging around in the Herald Dispatch archives. I've done that before to find concert dates and things. So.
You don't have to do. Yeah, I mean,
well, not right now.
You are employed. I don't.
Well,
But yeah, I don't. And in fact,
I got time on my hands now.
Looking at the stuff online, I don't see anything as far as proof of there was ever a concert or anything other than just because I remember going to the Huntington High games and I guess. See, I don't remember the soccer games. Marshall soccer was there, but not the high school games. I don't. Oh, and they had the drums across the Tri-State thing. I remember that was there. But I remember
we had a. I mean, I loved playing there. Being in the high school band and getting to be on Marshall's field, and it was cool.
Might have been I'm not 100% sure, but might have been the first place I ever urinated in a trough.
Yeah, probably.
I think they had the trough urinals in the at Fairfield, and I think
definitely. Very intimidating.
Yeah, I don't know if I need this.
Is this a group activity? Really?
My aim's not that great, but it's not that bad. I mean, this thing goes all the way from wall to wall. And I also think they had those stupid ass sinks that you had to like push in the thing, and then when you let go, the sink would turn off. Mm-hmm. You push the faucet on so you couldn't leave it on, and it was like I just peed in this trough. I mean, you can't give me a little help with the sink here. Come on now. But yeah, and it was, it also had a little bit of a prison feel.
Yeah.
Had the
metal,
chain link fences and that kind of thing. But yeah, Fairfield Stadium, it was, if you were with Marshall in those days where they needed every fan they could get, kudos to you. And I think the saddest, I hate to say this, they did those renovations in 70 right before the plane crash,
right?
Which it's just holy schmoly. But I know that I know a lot of people have memories of that place. If you go to HTStimemachine.com, that's our official website. You can post your memories, feedback, questions. If we screwed something up, well, Alex probably screwed it up, not me.
And please, a very special appeal to those of you, if anybody knows about the Tom Jones concert, I really need to know if this is true or not, because I swear I heard that. I know I heard it, but
I mean, and if Tom Jones played, how could I can't?
I want a ticket stub. I want somebody to show me
it. I can't even picture. How would you play a concert there? And wouldn't Tom Jones have just gone, why am I, this is where I am? I mean, because
he was at the Civic Center in '82, I think. But
yeah, I can't imagine sound, and because I would also think there were probably noise ordinances and things. But I'll tell you, if somebody did say that, and it's not true, at least they came up with an original. You know who played
people
there?
Well,
I don't know who was it. Kansas or Boston or Tom Jones? What? Tom Jones? Not Ricky Skaggs?
Maybe they played the halftime special at the.
Don't forget this Saturday, Marshall versus Furman,
Right.
with special halftime show by Tom Jones. That'd be awesome.
You know who did play the halftime at the Marshall Youngstown game that I went to in Georgia?
Nope.
Ronnie Millsap.
Is he blind?
Well, I didn't.
I don't know. Is he?
But that's the story.
I
But he rode around like on a float or whatever, lip syncing. I guess it was lip syncing. It might have been live vocal, but anyway. But he rode around the stadium or whatever on like a float or whatever.
What was his? Oh man, he is. Yeah, because I think he's blind. I need to work him into more of my jokes. I use Stevie Wonder all the time, and
Ronnie
he
deserves some love.
He is. I don't know any of these quote unquote hit songs.
That one?
He had to have some crossover or something.
Stranger in My House, right? What
the hell is that? Stranger in My House. I don't know what Stranger in My.
We'll listen to it later.
No, but what? Here we go. Just his biggest
something about
hit.
rain or something.
Are you sure you're not talking about Eddie Rabbit?
Well, no, I know Eddie had a rainy.
Yeah,
rainy
he
song,
loved A Rainy Night.
But like, I was trying to think of what other song he had.
But, yeah,
Stranger in My House is the '80s. That's why I remember that one.
Discography for Ronnie Millsap. His songs were. Yeah, I know people. Yeah, I know you're listening going, they're off the rails. This has nothing to do with Fairfield Stadium. Yeah, we don't care. Yeah, his biggest singles were It Was Almost Like a Song. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that song is. I don't know that
the best
song.
title if you want somebody to like their song.
Yeah, I don't. Well, okay, that was in the 70s. Oh, here, 80s is when he hit. Okay, there's no
Smoky Mountain Rain. I told you it was a rain song.
There's no getting over me. Okay, Smoky Mountain Rain. Any Day Now. I wouldn't.
Any Day.
Is that the same Any Day Now?
I don't know.
Yeah. God bless him, but I don't. Yeah, Ronnie Millsap, greatest hits could be a 45 single. I don't know, because I just don't know these songs. I'm sure they're fine, and I'm sure he's influential. And don't start hating on all the comments, but and you, what did you say? He played at this. He didn't.
At the Youngstown game in Georgia.
The Youngstown. Wonder what the connection was there.
Well,
is he
that Georgia Rain song? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if he's like from there.
He's from North
there.
Carolina, Robbinsville, but
he was just available and affordable.
I can hear all of the Ronnie Millsap fans right now as we speak go, "You're wrong! You're wrong! How do you not know this song?" But
we need some controversy. That'll that'll excite people.
And I do remember him and Roy Orbison, I think, were the two that people would always debate, are they really blind or not? I'm like, all you have to
Roy's
do,
not.
all you have to do is just throw them a ball,
Yeah.
and there you go. They catch it, then my vote is for no. But all right, well, so there you go. Fairfield Stadium, Marshall football. We'll probably have some other Marshall football stuff coming up. Let us know your comments. I know it's tough, but Alex, did you have any fun at all?
I always have a great time, WD.
Well, that's all.
I get to talk and tell stories. What else is there?
There you go. We're the world's youngest old men out there. So, all right, folks, tune into the other episodes. Thanks so much for listening, and we're out of here.
Thanks for listening to the Huntington Tri-State Time Machine, brought to you by Realty Exchange, the top performing real estate company in the Huntington, West Virginia Tri-State Area. If you have a memory you would want WG to talk more about, just send him an email at memories@htstimemachine.com or post a comment on the Time Machine Facebook group page. Did you like this episode? Be sure to share it with friends and family. You can find a link in the show notes that you can use to share it. And be sure to let Realty Exchange know that you like the podcast as well. Their contact information can be found in this episode's show notes.